Roger Monroe, who was in a member of a satanic secret society in Canada, also exposed this agenda because Roger ended up converting to Christianity, and he became a Seventh-day Adventist. He also exposed this plan to where Satan and his demons were going to fake this, come out as aliens and all this stuff. There's also, before I forget, there's also something called Project Blue Beam, which many researchers talk about, and they warn that there's going to be this fake alien invasion, just like we, when I used to watch movies before I understood how wicked they are, how wicked movies are. I watched a movie called Independence Day, which had Will Smith and some other well-known characters whose names I can't remember right now. But so similar to what was shown in Independence Day.
And he said it's going to be done in a unique manner. This grand plan is going to take people are going to eat the stuff. Because it says demon spirits will declare themselves to be inhabitants of far distant planets in the galaxies that are coming to warn the inhabitants of planet Earth of the impending destruction of the planet unless something seriously proper is done to avoid it.
With Richard Southern. And Richard, there's no shortage of intriguing stories to chat about today. Let's begin with something that many Canadians are struggling to explain.
Turns out, Erica, UFO sightings are through the roof during the pandemic here in Canada. So maybe we've got more time to look up into the sky, or maybe there's actually something going on.
There's been a recent spike in UFO sightings, but now some are reporting seeing snake-like cylindrical objects moving in the sky. One was even spotted over the state of New York.
It's the UFO there. Got it in the shot.
The past few months, people from all parts of the country have claimed that they have captured strange objects in the skies on camera.
We have tackled many strange stories on 60 Minutes, but perhaps none like this. It's the story of the U.S. government's grudging acknowledgement of unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, more commonly known as UFOs. After decades of public denial, the Pentagon now admits there's something out there. Lieutenant Graves told us pilots training off the Atlantic coast see things like that all the time.
Every day. Every day for at least a couple of years.
Wait a minute, every day for a couple of years?
Mm-hmm. By the way, on Sunday we learned, no big deal, that UFOs have been flying into restricted airspace off the coast of Virginia every day for years.
It's probably time to stop calling people who believe in UFOs crackpots after the recent revelation that there's actually a Pentagon task force looking into them. One astrophysicist who has worked for the Pentagon's UFO program since 2007 told the New York Times that he gave a classified briefing to a Defense Department agency about retrievals from, quote, off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. Are we on the brink of full disclosure about visitors from outer space?
When it comes to defending America, it is not enough to merely have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance in space. So important. Very importantly, I'm hereby directing the Department of Defense and Pentagon to immediately begin the process necessary to establish a Space Force as the sixth branch of the armed forces.
This is a person I respected tremendously, very, very senior person. He's told me, he said, Lou, I want you to stop doing this. I said, okay, sir, I certainly can, but may I ask why? And he says, well, we already know what it is. Now, at that moment, I honestly thought maybe it was our own technology. I was running up against some super uber secret sap, and, they were telling me to stop. And I said, okay, sir, so it's ours? And he said, no, that's not what I'm saying. And he said, he asked me point blank, have you read your Bible lately? And I wasn't quite sure where he was going with that. And I said, well, sir, I think I know what it says. Where are you going with this? And he said, well, then you would know that these things are demonic. and we should not be pursuing them. Yeah, and he wasn't kidding. That's exactly how he felt.
So this is a Pentagon. This is a Department of Defense official saying, "Stop looking at UFOs because they're demonic."
Correct.
But just talk for a moment, brag for a moment about how you really kind of have changed this conversation. I mean, the work that you have been doing, much of which has been unheralded, has really revealed things that were unknown to the public before, and you should be very proud of that.
Yeah, I am. I brought out the first 3 declassified videos of UFOs ever. They were given to me. To the Stars Academy brought them out. I assembled a team of very, very high-ranking government officials from the CIA, Department of Defense, other 3-letter agencies, and so on. One of the heads of the Skunk Works, Lockheed Martin. Skunk Works built Area 51, for the U-2 spy plane back in the day. So these are very, very, kind of an elite team of individuals that all have experience with this subject. They all came together because I created a vehicle that has 3 divisions: entertainment, science, and aerospace. And the whole goal of this is to create a vehicle for the disclosure of the UFO phenomenon and various other things because,
So your goal is to eventually get this information out there.
Why you? What is it about what your message was? Famous or because you know things?
No, because I have a service. So it's not, it sounds easy when you play it like that, but
service?
A service. Like, what can you do for them that they need help with?
And what could you do?
Communication. They don't have a way to make a movie, a book. They don't know how. Don't have a way to make documentaries. They don't have a way to go on a big show like this and communicate with young people. They don't do that.
Tom DeLonge was very passionate about the UFO phenomenon and was able to use his notoriety to befriend top-level officials at NASA and the CIA. These government agencies revealed to Tom that they had been in contact with aliens. Tom says the plan is to disclose slowly over time through books, movies, and documentaries that the phenomenon is real.
Let me ask you this. I've seen this online, a couple of your fans are downright harsh about what they suspect is your secret interest in the Illuminati or membership in the Freemasons, and I guess they point to Freemason symbology on your guitars. Am I stating that correctly? Are you a Freemason?
Possibly.
That's not a no. You're just going to leave it at that?
Yeah, we just don't talk about that stuff.
They're ready to talk.
Do we have an alien ship of some type?
Oh, I no comment on that.
What do you know, Tom?
There's a lot.
Just
of
shake your head, yes or no. This is radio. So.
I'm not
He's shaking his head. Oh, he's
on
not.
Camera.
I mean, there's that. But yeah, sure.
Have you ever encountered an alien?
No, but I've had some really interesting experiences. Yeah.
Do you believe, as I do, there could be an alien in this room right now?
There might be.
Allie's so happy right now.
I will tell you this. I have met very, very, very high-ranking intelligence officials.
Name them.
That have had encounters.
Experiences. Is that right? Direct encounters.
Yeah, there's actually some really unnerving aspects as to far. There's one program where there's hundreds of operatives that have been having contact, and they're trying to figure out what that's all about.
All right. We worship spirits. We worship Lucifer and all his angels. They're just as beautiful as they did before they were cast out of heaven. He says there was a misunderstanding in the whole thing. He says among the inhabitants of the galaxies. And he says our master was misunderstood. And God did not bear with him like he does with people that make mistakes today. So we're in a warfare, good against evil. And we happen to be the evil ones, but we're not that bad. He says, I look at this business between the forces of good and evil. He says, you believe in one person believes in God, and everyone believes in Lucifer. It's like politics.
So the great controversy is real. And you've heard someone talk about it that's on the other side.
And to these people, they are sold to the fact that Christ will not return to this planet with power and great glory. He's going to abdicate all claims to the planet, because the high priest once said that Christ will abdicate all claim to the planet because he knows that it is lawfully and rightfully Satan's. And at that time, he says, Lucifer, you mentioned Lucifer a lot of times, but they mention Satan also. He says, the master, usually they like to talk about the master will resurrect his people from the graves.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?